Hi, welcome to another episode of Cream Conversation. Today we're on site at Capybara Bathing with Nicole Chew, partner and director of this beautiful space. And Nicole, do you want to introduce yourself just a little?
Yeah, thank you for having me today.
Yeah.
So I'm Nicole. I've been in Singapore for 7 years. Originally, I'm from Australia. And yeah, this is our home at the moment.
Yeah. So your whole family moved over, but you grew up in Australia.
So I was born and raised in Australia, and I've lived the majority of my life. I lived in Hong Kong for a little bit with my parents when I was younger, and then I went back to Sydney for boarding school. And then I came with my husband 7 years ago, just the two of us, thinking we'll stay for 2 years and
It's one of those things.
continue on with life.
Yeah.
And then COVID, and then we had 3 kids after that. So,
3 children.
yeah, so it looks like we're not going anywhere for now, especially with the business.
Yeah. So was that why you wanted to set up a business? Because you felt like your roots were here now?
It kind of just happened organically. It wasn't planned. I think as expats, you always think that I will eventually go home, and you never know how long you're going to be in one place for. So it kind of just came up, the opportunity. And then, yeah, one thing led to another and we're here. So it wasn't that planned.
So do you want to go into a little bit about Capybara Bathing and what drew you to bring it here to Singapore? Because from what I understand, it started in Sydney as well.
Yeah, so Capybara Bathing is a modern bathhouse, extension of what the traditional offerings are. And it's about creating a space for people to come together as a community within their own social network or by themselves to, just check out and reset and just regather yourself. So the idea came about when my husband and I went back to Sydney for a holiday. We usually go once a year, and we just spontaneously went to the bathhouse in Sydney. It was opened by our friends, our uni friends. We all studied architecture together, and we just fell in love with the whole experience. We left just feeling so refreshed. And at that time we had 2 kids, and I think life just gets really hectic,
Of course.
especially when you're on holidays with kids.
Also, your kids were with you.
Yeah, they were with us. So we left them with some family to babysit, and it was just a little getaway on the holiday. And traveling with kids is not a holiday. Yeah, so I think the combination of the situation that we were in, and we're just trying to reset away from Singapore, and we just felt so alive after the first experience there.
And if parents traveling toddlers, I'm guessing,
toddlers.
with 2 toddlers and going to a bathhouse and coming out refreshed, it's truly, how do I say this, restoring for the soul. I think more than anyone else, parents need this.
Yeah, and I think that once you've had kids and the whole life just, it just gets you, and you kind of just go on a rhythm that is just repeated day to day, and it just doesn't stop until you kind of force yourself to have that rest and that reset, especially with couples. Like
Also, it's a long hour thing.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to work and like you have a lunch break and like after that you get to rest kind of thing.
So the whole experience of Capybara really kind of encourages people to slow down, be intentional with their time, whether it's alone or with the person that you've come with. And we really felt that like reconnection when we were in that first experience. Yeah.
So when you brought it here, like what were some of your potential like apprehensions?
I think obviously starting a business is scary, especially.
Have you guys started one together before?
No.
As a couple?
Working with your husband.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. I was going to say.
Yeah, so I think both of our families have been quite entrepreneurial, and we kind of grew up with that. I think for us, we always thought, it'd be a dream to have your own business. And I think it's quite scary, or you don't realize the full extent of responsibilities once you have your own business. We know now it's a lot. So over the course of the journey of establishing the business.
How long has it been now?
From the inception of the idea, it's just over a year. So I think at times through the journey, we thought, like, can we do this? Is it too hard? Have we taken on more than we can, than we can handle? And then with the 3 kids, it was just,
A lot.
A lot. So I don't know how we got here. We're here. And I think every day we just wonder like, how are we doing this? But we seem to get by.
I think that's how the entrepreneurial spirit gets you through sometimes. I want to add that Capybara Bathing is my favorite bathhouse in Singapore. And when they first opened, I think I came within 2 or 3 weeks after opening, and Nicole and her husband were here. So I had a chat with them. And I think sometimes when you just see the facade of a business, yes, it's pretty. And I guess, like, as you said, it's ritualistic. There are pools and all that, which we'll get into later. But after speaking to the founders and understanding that they actually believe in what they're selling, I think it's a lot more than, having a conglomerate type brand opening several pretty brands. It's quite different.
Yeah.
And with that, I want to go into our next question, which is, as I said, I feel like Capybara Bathing, there's so many bathhouses now in Singapore, right? And Capybara feels very distinct in how we are in a shop house, but we don't feel like we're in one. Spatially, it's great. The tempo, the feeling, the music, the smells, everything comes together really well. So how do you position yourself as a social ritual rather than just like recovery or wellness, which is what everyone is selling?
Yeah. I think for us, the core thing is being really intentional with the decisions that we make. The decision-making process is thought out, is intentional, and is guided by the core values of the business. So we don't do things just for the sake of adding more. I think in the design sense, the less is more, and that really shows up in like the design intent, the look and feel, and then coming down to even how we operate the space in the business is intentional. So all the small details. And I really think that Singapore needs a space like this that is slow, to encourage people to slow down. I think just the society and, the business aspect of the city is,
it's always go.
Yeah,
go,
it's nonstop, and
it's literally nonstop.
It's just going to lead to burnout. So
100%.
I think people don't know that they need to stop and reset until it's too late. So I think it's super important to have this connection available here for the people of Singapore. And definitely over the last 7 years of myself being here, it's been a lot of just life activity, one after the other, nonstop. Even with having kids, it's like get pregnant, take your mat leave, and then get back to work straight away.
Yeah.
And that absence of you for 4 to 6 months is, a lot happens during that period. So I think through the transition of my own life and motherhood, it's just nonstop trying to keep up with everything.
Yeah. For me, I come about once a week, and I find that ritual that I gave to myself, like an hour here, kind of resets everything for me. Coming here, being slow, intentional with the spaces and using the fast. I am a very fast-paced person. Like I was texting yesterday, I hit the ground running even after coming back from holiday. And I never felt the need to reset. But I guess it's also like onset of age, running a business, having a kid, doing PSLE this year, all of that. This year has been special for me, and I think Capybara had a big part in playing in that. Because I come alone most of the time. And it's like, that's the thing about the bathhouse as well. A lot of times you feel like a lot of things you have to do with a friend.
Yeah.
A lot of workouts, people are just afraid to go venture out alone. I noticed that about Singaporeans. But I think a bathhouse is a place where it's actually a very meditative space almost. And it's totally fine to be alone. So if you're
afraid a lot of people are scared to be alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like having a meal by themselves is scary. And they just wouldn't put themselves in that situation. But maybe it's age. With age, I feel
and
like...
also with kids, you're like, yes, long time.
I need silence.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, please try bathhouses or come here and try something. You never know what you might find in the reset. And in saying that, I want to talk about how you design the experience, or you and your husband together design the experience. Because as we said, all the spaces feel very intentional. And I love spatial design when it's done well. It's very hard to do, I feel like, in a shop house because everything's so linear. But when you come in here, it doesn't feel like a shop house. As I said, it doesn't feel long and linear and like not enough light, because usually shop houses have the airwell in the middle. But the way you guys designed it feels so flowy. It almost feels like, oh yeah, I think good design is also like you said, less is more. You don't even need so much wayfinding. It's like you naturally gravitate towards, oh, okay, that's the bathhouse. Oh, here's the lounge. Oh, that's the bathroom. Like, it's very easy. So do you want to talk a little bit about that and how you guys position that?
Yeah. So a lot of it is the sense of journey and creating that narrative for people to move gently through the space. So from the transition of the 5-foot way in the shop house setting, stepping into the space, there is that gentle transition, and you almost feel the weight off your shoulders as soon as you step in through the visual aspect, a sensory experience with touch, smell, and sound. And from that point on, as you move through the curtains, that is deliberate, that we block the views, we open certain views so you can have that sense of discovery as you move through the space. And as you said about wayfinding, it's not about bombarding or directing people to the way you want them to move. You do that in a subtle way through space planning and like the width of the corridor, and then being narrow, then opening to a wider space, the high ceilings, so you can control the way people move through space through design, spatial planning, and putting that next step forward in the way people move through. And throughout the space in the shop house, it's really high ceilings. When we took over the space, there was a plasterboard ceiling there. People always want to cover up the original, the original structure, but that's the beauty in the whole shop house story and the history of it. So of course our natural instinct is to remove all the ceiling and expose all the structure, so that creates the height in the space. And
it's really high ceilings. I know you guys can't see it. We only have the beautiful painting that I totally love behind us, but it's really high ceilings.
Yeah, so then when we start planning the spaces and the function of the bathhouse, like the sauna and the steam, they're like pods within a larger space. So you kind of feel like you're in an open space in the lounge, then you step into a more confined and like a cozy space in the sauna. And then once you're in the sauna, you feel like you're away from everything. Then you kind of re-emerge from that after 15, 20 minutes in the sauna, and you kind of go through the own journey of exploration yourself.
So we have a sauna, we have a mineral pool, we have the cold plunge and the steam. Am I missing anything out?
That's it.
And also we have this lounge that we're currently sitting in for you to just take a break in between. And everything that she mentioned is real. Like, I cannot show you the floor plan of this space. You just have to come explore it on your own. But I think that's exactly what I feel when I come through as well. In between, if you're feeling like, okay, it's too hot or it's too cold or whatever, come in here, take a tea, sit down, enjoy the space, and then go back to it. I usually am able to spend an hour here and no phones, right? So it's no phones allowed inside. And I usually have to be very stimulated, right? And my friends are surprised that I can do anything for more than like 30 minutes because I have to be doing a lot of things at the same time. So this space is one of the few spaces that I'm actually okay to just sit there and be like,
with your thoughts.
With my thoughts and not running away from anything. And that's amazing. So congratulations. You guys managed to get somebody who has ADHD to just sit down and do nothing. I love it. Okay, so this isn't the most straightforward business to build, especially in Singapore. What are some of your challenges in bringing this to life? Just like spatially, permits and things like that, or even like, because I work in interior design, even the construction, not that the contractors can't do it, but it's almost like there's some inertia in like trying new things. So what were some of your challenges in the build too?
So obviously Singapore and its regulations and authorities is challenging. There are specific hurdles that you need to cross. And we realize that more and more. Like we're experienced in the built industry, design and construction. So my husband kind of led that journey of project managing this outcome and the built quality. The regulations and authorities, the permits, as you mentioned, was a challenge. Since it's a shop house, it's heritage and conservational. So you need to respect the building structure, and the accessibility was a big thing. Universal design. So all of those aspects of regulatory was quite a challenge. Obviously building a pool in a shop house is hard too.
And it's a large pool.
Yeah, so structurally we need to, design and engineer that in so that it works as a design and it satisfies for
end user.
Yeah, exactly. So working through those challenges, I think the main thing is never take no. Even when the QP is like submitting the approvals to the authorities and coming back with a rejection or coming back with a comment, then, we need to prepare a waiver and all those things. So never accepting no and trying to find a solution is the key thing to the success of this outcome. Obviously, you mentioned the contractors. The built quality is different, much different to Australia.
Yeah.
I think just the craftsmanship and quality outcome is hard to achieve.
Yes.
And you really need to project manage and,
When you say project manage, it's more like micromanage.
Micromanage, yeah. I didn't want to say micromanage.
But it's the truth, Yeah. Not to say that our contractors or artisans are not great, but also it's number of years that they've been doing it, right? Or just in Singapore, the kind of interior design that we've had in the past, it's very different from an international global scale. Just in terms of ironmongery or just hinges, in Europe, everything is like a hidden hinge, right?
Yeah.
But everything in Southeast Asia, the cheapest one, there's the butterfly, like your regular hinge. So we're not saying that we don't have good contractors. It's just that a lot of them are, the older ones don't want to learn new things. And the ones who are willing to learn, we just have to keep navigating with them to achieve this outcome, as you said. Sorry.
So all the details, the shadow lines, the junctions are like concealed and very clean lines that you don't see, any of the connections. So to get that, you really need to micromanage the process to get the outcome.
Sorry, I want to add that whatever you just said actually can be conveyed in drawings.
Yeah.
But because they're not reading the drawings. Because I found that like one of the frustrations that I had as well.
Yeah, so the amount of times my husband had to ask them to redo and redo. I think there's a balance of being the bad person and trying to get the outcome that you want and the vision that you have in your head.
Yeah.
And I think it's all worth it because the outcome is beautiful. So
it is.
I think it also shows up in how you maintain and operate the space. If you design and execute construction-wise the details that you've drawn, it makes maintenance and operational challenges much more easier because of the cleaning and all of those things. It shows up after a year.
Yeah, of course.
This is why we do the details that we do.
Yeah. Also, I feel like in Singapore, bathing is not like a common idea, not like in Japan or like in overseas places where like co-ed communal spaces for bathing is a norm. Weekend thing between a father and a son or a friend. How do you also then educate or bring that into Singapore to let people know like it's not weird, Yeah.
I really think that's time and giving people or encouraging people to try. I think it's just trying it. You don't really you're not really convinced unless you see it for yourself and experience 100%. It for yourself. I think leading by example as well. So sometimes I do come with my mom and, I have casual conversations with the clients that we have here. And,
like me.
Yeah, and I say, this is my mom and I'm here with her. So I think sharing that moment with other people and even in conversations. So she's fallen in love with the whole process. And I think she did not expect that.
Yeah.
And I think leading by example, coming with somebody, a friend, mum, or myself, and people seeing that. Even, our friendship started in here. Making new friends and coming with old friends.
I think it's also important to know that not everyone is out to get you. There's no real agenda. Not everyone has an agenda. I know it feels like this in a capitalistic world that we live in. But I think it's nice. It's really, really nice when you can just sit down, have a conversation and walk away from it knowing that, oh, that person didn't want anything from me. It's just like a casual conversation where you can share ideas and thoughts and memories and learn things from each other. I think that's also another beautiful thing about the space. Beyond the bathhouse, you also have wellness sessions and also like a full like sound baths, yoga, and basically broadening whatever you offer already. Was that always intentional? And what is the reason behind that?
So the programs are very much an extension of the space, hence why we designed the lounge like this. The lounge was intended to be a flexible space with the modular furniture that's able to be moved around to the setting that we need. So things like breath work, sound baths, yoga, movement helps people to slow down a little bit more and reconnect with themselves. I think people think that it's about attending a yoga class and it's very functional, but there's a deeper connection to the people that you share that experience with eventually after. And that unconventional pairing of the class and a bathhouse session after is quite special, and it kind of opens people's minds about the experience and becomes less about attending the class and more about that shared experience. And I guess myself, I'm actually a yoga teacher, trained. So I used to teach when I did not have kids, when I had more time. But it's always been a dream of mine to open a yoga studio, when I was younger and had that aspiration. But now having this bathhouse, it's really like an extension of that dream that I had when I was younger. And I can kind of bring together that, that marriage of yoga and movement and the new love of bathhouse, So it's quite special.
I came in for, was it the first?
Flow and soak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came in for like the first flow and soak session, which is, as she said, it was yoga, and then together as a collective doing the sauna, and then there was a sound bath within the mineral pool. And Mayen, who was leading the yoga and all of it, was doing the sound bath with a hand pan and some other instruments like bowls and all that. I came with two other friends, one who was had to go work in SF and just came back. So it's like, how that pace of like working in tech and coming back and like jet lag, and other friend who's very fit, like works out all the time. So everyone's body or mind or something is disconnected or achy or something. So we did the yoga class and the sauna and the sound bath. And after everything, all three of us left feeling like, wow, like I could just sleep for 8 hours now, and beyond that, it's just, as she said, it's like a collective experience. It's very hard to explain these things in words because we just sound woo-woo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like a cult, guys. Yeah. A cult. But I do think it's one of those things you have to experience for yourself, right?
Yeah.
So now, as your concept continues to grow, how do you want to keep it from just being another wellness space and stay true to what you and your husband set it out to be?
So I think it's about being very clear on what you're not. As you mentioned, it's very easy to get distracted and dragged along, all the trends that are coming up. So I think adding more, it's not about adding more features, adding more clutter, adding more of this and that to kind of follow. That offering is available. Let's just introduce it. It's not about adding more to, create a better space. I think it's about staying anchored to the core idea of what we're trying to do, and being clear about every decision that we make. There's a process. So even if it's like the smallest decision of what bin do we use for the toilet, like these small decisions play a larger part in the overall execution and longevity of the bathhouse.
I think people don't understand how much I care about these things.
Even the bin liners, like what color is it?
Yeah. Like sometimes when I go outside for classes, I try, different spaces, different studios, and the studio can be so pretty. And then you go to the bathroom and like carrots everywhere. We're like, why is it an open bin? Why to see, things.
Yeah. So I think that's where, the decision making can fall short if the whole thing is not looked at. And there's no point to lack certain details when your time and your effort is there already.
100% agreed. And you can totally feel it in a space. I feel like I'm selling a space. But it's
You should
really
work
my
here.
favorite thing.
You should work here.
I am working here. Every time I come in, I'm like talking to the people here. How are you feeling today? Like the weird person that just come, how are you feeling today? How is your session? Okay, and to end this very calm and slow podcast, what is your ideal session like at Capybara Bathing?
Actually, my ideal session is to come by myself. And it's always nice to share the experience with my husband or a friend that's coming in. But I think for a daily ritual thing, it's alone. Even if it's 20 minutes, it just gives myself that time to force checkout and reset. And I really feel like I need that with everything that I'm trying to do, especially with the kids. Like life is just a huge juggle right now. So even giving myself that short time to reset and rethink and remind myself why I'm doing this is really important. So I usually like to start in the sauna, about 15 minutes, and then I'll do a cold plunge just to get that contrast. And that really wakes me up and makes me a clearer version of what I'm doing. And I especially feel great even after I've had no sleep, like dealing with the kids and toilet training and all of that stuff. So it really resets my energy, even when I'm feeling sleep deprived. And then I'll move through to the hot mineral pool and then end for the steam. Yeah.
That's so sauna, cold plunge, mineral pool, and steam.
Yeah.
So for me, I come in, first thing is sauna. I feel like that could be everyone's starting point, right? To like just sweat it out. And then rinse. She didn't say rinse, so I think she didn't rinse.
No idea.
So rinse, like your sweat off. And then for me, mineral pool. I know it's hot and hot, but the mineral pool is less, I don't know, it's more like it's comforting.
Yeah, it's like a warm hug.
Yeah, it's like a warm hug. Rinse, and then cold plunge.
See, she works here.
Cold plunge. I usually can only take maybe 3 to 5 minutes, and that's my tops.
Only, that's quite long.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, 3 minutes. And then when I get out, steam, and then I'm done. I know some people say, like, why do you only go
one round
once?
Yeah.
But I guess everyone's different because I do 10 minutes in the sauna and 10 minutes in the mineral pool and like 5 minutes in the cold plunge and 10 minutes in the steam. So to me, it's like a long time already. And then I'll come in here, have a tea, like sit with myself for a little bit. And as she said, I love coming alone. Even if I come with a friend, we're not together the whole time. It's not like
you don't feel forced to like follow
like
each other.
Having a coffee and like sitting down. So like we could start together, but like we could always separate and then maybe end together and go get lunch, which is also really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our own rituals.
And how do you think your body, your mind, your skin, like what's the benefits that you see?
I feel like I always have a lot of thoughts in my head because it's always about planning what's next as I do this, do that. And coming in here, I allow myself, because I feel guilty if I'm not working in my head. You know, work meaning not just for actual work, but like my child or family and all that. And allowing myself to just be by myself for myself. That's one thing, just a mental homework. So that has really been very helpful to not feel guilty about just like giving myself time. And then
it's like processing that guilt.
Yeah. And it's like, it's okay, you know. And then
it's like mom guilt.
It is. Yeah. It's more than mom guilt. It's also like boss guilt.
Yeah.
It's like I should be working the most or I should be doing more and I should be working outside of working hours and all of that stuff. So having that time for myself and then that was made it okay. And then just going through like the pose and stuff. I don't know how to explain this to you, and also the salt scrub. Coming out, I just feel refreshed and like the cold plunge gives me this tingling sensation all through the day. Not on the skin. That's weird. Not all through the day, but like for a long period of time, it's just inside you, and it just makes me feel so energized.
Yeah,
like I can take on whatever's gonna come for the next week. I mean, I don't come every day. I come once a week, but that's good enough reset for me. Yeah. Thank you, Nicole, for doing this today. Thank you for opening up your space to us. And I hope more people come through.
Thank you.
I hope you manage to achieve whatever you guys set out to achieve.
Thank you. Thanks for your support.
For you. Thank you. Bye.